everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I did a video inspired by this Instagram look that I saw on my Instagram Explore page, which was a look created by ZHAVIA. If you guys don't know who she is, she's a really famous 16-year-old singer who was on The Four, and she has an absolutely gorgeous voice. But one thing that really just brought my attention was her eyes, and I thought her eyeshadow looked absolutely gorgeous. It's some colors that I personally love to use on my eyes. But one thing that really inspired me to do this look was also this new Huda Beauty, or this kind of like old, new to me, Huda Beauty Warm Brown Obsessions palette. When I saw this eye look, I thought, oh my goodness, it looks exactly like the colors shown in this palette. So today I decided to do a first impressions on this mini palette and to do a recreation of ZHAVIA'S look. So if you guys want to see how I created this look, just keep on watching. So one day I was just scrolling through my Instagram feed and I saw this look from ZHAVIA. I think she's a contestant, or she was a contestant on The Four. And I just saw this look and I thought it was super gorgeous, and it kind of reminded me of this eyeshadow palette that I got for Christmas from my friend, and it's the Huda Beauty Warm Brown Obsessions palette. And once I saw that look, it reminded me exactly of this palette, and I still haven't used this palette yet. So today I decided to recreate ZHAVIA'S look, and we'll see how it goes. So to begin, I'm just going to go ahead and use my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. If you guys saw my last video, I tried this out for the first time and I really liked it. So far I'm really liking this. I've only used it twice, but it's a really good concealer so far. So I'm just going to go ahead and place a little bit on my eyelids. I already did my foundation and powdered my face as well, but I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of concealer on my eyelids to prime my eyes. I don't use or own any eyelid primer or eyeshadow primer just because I think that concealer really works and helps provide that base before I put on eyeshadow. So I really just like using whatever I have already in my collection, and I think this concealer, or any concealer that I've had so far, really works. And so I really enjoy just using a concealer as a base because it really does cancel out all this discoloration in my veins and just creates that nice flat base. So opening up the palette, there are a lot of beautiful warm tone brown shades that I personally love. These are kind of like my favorite colors that I use all year round. So I don't think there are any shade names on the back, or there weren't any, there wasn't a cover slip on top either, so that's okay. But I'm just going to go ahead and go into the middle row, and it's all the way on the right. It's this cream color, and I'm just going to use that color to set my lid. I'm going to go in with a new brush. I'm really glad they included a color like this because while this palette does contain a lot of beautiful warm tone colors and a lot of like purple, mauve-y, reddish brown, orange colors, they did include a kind of like a base color, which is really nice, so you don't have to dive into a new palette. And I feel like this palette is great for traveling as well, so you don't have to carry those extra shades that can really, take up space in your makeup bag. So far this palette has little to no fallout whatsoever. I'm just going to go ahead and use a transition shade. Today I'll be going in with the last row in the middle, as you can see here. Just right over here, I'm going to go in with this color. I think this is a nice transition shade. So I'm just going to go ahead with the same brush and dip into that color. It's really pigmented off the brush. I don't know if you guys can see that, but right off the bat, I barely dipped into it, but the color does really come off pretty quickly, and I'm just going to use this in my crease as a transition shade and just use windshield wiper motions. So the next color I'll be going into will be from the top row. I'll be using this orange shade in the middle from the top row, and based on the picture, I just zoomed in a little bit. Based on the picture, it is pretty vibrant, and the orange color is pretty pigmented and pretty vibrant. So I think I just want to go ahead and use that orange shade, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to go ahead with the same brush and kind of focus that color. Focus that color right below where I place that transition shade. I don't want to focus it on my lid exactly, so right just right above my crease, kind of in this area. And it's okay if color doesn't land on the lid because I can always go back in with concealer and fix that up. So far, I love these shadows so much. The only other Huda Beauty palette that I own is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette, and I love that palette, but this mini palette is so good. It blends out so nice. I don't think I've ever used shadows like these before. And you only really need a little bit of color on your brush, and the color goes a long ways. So going with the clean brush, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a new shade. There's a really interesting shade on the last row, the very left color right over here, as you guys can see, and it's a really pretty coral color. Looking back at the picture, she does use a lot of pretty vibrant orange shades, but I think this coral would be a really nice color. And then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the darker reds, but I'm just gonna dip my brush into it, and I'm just gonna place this, let's see, right over here. So the next shade I'll be using, I'm just going to use a little bit of this color to deepen up and just darken up the crease, will be this red shade right over here. I'm just going to use the slightest amount. And I think I'm going to mix this one as well as the orange color right here. Just mix the two and just darken it up right here. So at this point in my makeup look, my eyelids are looking a little bit crazy just because I wasn't being like super precise on where I wanted to put the eyeshadow. So the next step, I'm going to go ahead and place concealer, just kind of cover up the mistakes that I made, and put on a lighter orange shade. As you can see on her lid, there's mostly like a golden yellow orange shade, a little bit lighter than the colors in her crease. So I'm just going to go ahead, use the same concealer, and just carve out my crease about halfway. I'm gonna leave this color right here, and I'm not gonna do like a full cut crease, but just kind of probably like 3/4 of my eyelid, just to kind of create a new eyelid base. So now that I'm all done placing that concealer, I'm going to set that with the same shade that I used earlier. I'm going to go ahead and set that with this orange shade right here on a flat new brush. And I'm just going to pack that color on the brush and just pack that color onto my eyelid. Turned out a little darker than I thought it would. But the color is really pigmented, as you can tell. I'm actually going to go ahead and use a little bit of this color as well, and continue that color right here. So looking back to the picture, as you can see, she has a really blinding inner corner highlight as well as underneath her brow bone. So to do this, I'm going to just go ahead and use two different products from the Ulta Beauty brand. And to do this, I'm going to use these Glow Enhanced drops in the shade Sunlights. This is what they look like. And as well as the Ulta Beauty Glitter Tears eyeliner in the shade Galaxy. So I'm going to go ahead and place a little bit. This is kind of old, so it's kind of dried out a little bit. I'm just going to place a little bit on my hand. And as you can see, when I blend it out a little bit, it is like, it's pretty shimmering, pretty blinding. So I'm going to go in with a flat brush, concealer brush, and just place that color in the inner corner. So now that we're all done with the eyeshadow, I'm going to go ahead into the eyeliner. In the picture, you can see that she does have a wing, which I personally love eyeliner wings. Whenever I do eyeliner, all I do is wings. I never just do one line across my eye. I just like the wing effect. So I'm gonna go ahead with these. I'm gonna go in with this LA Colors liquid liner. This is probably one of my favorite liners of all time. I have a brand new one right here. From the drugstore, I got this for like no more than $2. It's like the cheapest liner ever. And finally, based on the picture, you can tell that Javia is wearing false lashes, something that I do personally as well. So I'm gonna go ahead with these Pro Beauty Essentials Wispy Lashes from Target. I used these in the last video as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and place some on. I already have some out. And the very final step are the lips. So as you can tell in the picture, her lips are kind of like a nude orangey color. Her lips are really big. I have really small lips, but for this I'm going to use a combination of a ColourPop in the shade Bestie and this Ulta Beauty Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Scandi. So I'm just going to use a little bit of both of these on my lips. But before I go in, I need to use chapstick because my lips are very chapped, and I can't go in with the lipstick without putting on chapstick first. It's a problem. So this is the final look. I really like how it turned out. Like I said before, when I first saw this look, I was completely in love with it, and I knew that I wanted to try it out myself. So my overall impressions on the Huda Beauty mini palette, this is probably one of my favorite palettes. The colors just blended out so nicely. I've never had an eyeshadow palette or eyeshadows that blended out so easily, so smoothly, and there was little to no fallout. I don't think I had any trouble with fallout. While I only used probably like half the shades in this palette, I can't wait to use the golden shade as well as these maroon tones as well. But I think this palette is perfect for traveling. It has all the colors that I personally need and that I personally use on a daily basis. So this is what my look looks like next to Javia's eye look. I think she did an absolutely gorgeous job. One thing that I didn't do that she did was put in liner on the lower lash line. Personally, I don't like the way that it looks in my eyes because I think it makes my eyes look much smaller than they actually are. So I tend to opt that out of when I'm doing my eye looks. But I did appreciate her small wings that she did. Normally I like to draw on thicker wings, but today I decided to do smaller, thinner wings, and I actually really like the way that it turned out. So yeah, this is my look. I absolutely loved it, and I love the eyeshadow palette, and I just love this overall look. I know it's pretty glam, but I just love the way that it turned out. And that is it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you guys like this look, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel as well. I'd really appreciate it if you did that. If you guys have any more recommendations of any other videos you'd like to see from me, just let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that is it for this video. Have a great day, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!